What does success look like this year for Armando Bacot in a world where we rarely see guys stay 4 years, much less 5 with the free COVID year? What does it look like for him this year?
I think it looks the same as the last 2 years. It's keep doing what you're doing. I think, too often, uh let me tell a story. So, this comes back to it'll get there, I promise. We were talking about James Brown, UNC's 2024 center with Eric Bossi one time, and he said what he loves about James Brown is that he knows who he is, he understands why he's in the position that he's in, and while he might try to do other things occasionally, he always goes back to it because that's what he's best at, and you probably should do what you're best at. You should be out on the court experimenting and trying new things, during competitive ACC basketball games. So I think Armando Bacot has learned that over the last couple of years. I mean, we've gone. It's not to say that he can't like expand his range and do more with his jump shot, but I think when it gets to the nitty gritty and you get into games, you revert back to what you do best. And so for Armando, it's getting in the paint. It's the little hook shot. It's powering through guys. It's rebounding. So like for him, I think just do what you do. It, you don't have to add something every single year. You can just be really good at 2 or 3 things. Like, I always get annoyed at the pitchers who are like, "I've got 7 pitches." It's like, "Yeah, but are they any good?" Like, if you have a fastball and a slider, you're good. As long if they're good, you're good.
Throw
And
3 good ones. I don't need
right,
3 and then 4 that are garbage.
right. So I think that's the key for Armando. That's what success looks like for him is just continue, where he's going. He can be more efficient, sure. There's ability to get better in the margins, but overall, there's not a lot that needs to change for him. And a quick note, since we're talking about records, his scoring numbers will probably have to have an asterisk beside him because he's going to have an extra year.
Mhm.
But he needs 54 points to pass Walter Davis to be in the top 10. And with a good season, he'll likely be UNC's second or third leading scorer of all time. He's not going to catch Hansbrough. It's just not going to happen. But he'll probably be top 2 or 3 in points with an asterisk because he's 5 years, and he'll be number 1 in rebounding without an asterisk because he did it in 4.
Just watching the numbers based on the slight dynamic change of personnel on the roster is going to be just absolutely fascinating as we go through the season. And I think it's going to be unique too, as we consider now Armando is a grown ass man, right? You were talking about a kid who, when he got to campus, was still growing into his body and was still big, but now he's just full on grown man muscle and is built out accordingly. And so you'd kind of like to see him just start going through guys' chests on a regular basis. To your point, Sherrell, that's where he's been really effective on the block, whether it's using that little jump hook and then setting that up to start going through guys. But you'd like to start seeing some of that old man scrimp just becoming a routine part of his game. Sean, what do you think fans can count on from Armando this year? And again, I recognize I'm kind of hamstringing you guys and asking you stuff about players that we've seen a whole lot of. Get creative if you want to, but I got to throw the same question at you for the sake of the integrity of the format for the show today.
I don't know how creative you can get on this one in terms of what you can count on, but you know, double doubles. I know last year we did the over under on how many double doubles. I would expect that to probably go up a little bit. I know he kind of took him a little while to get going in the preseason, or not the preseason, but the non conference last year. I think hopefully one thing I would like to see is that hunger throughout the year, and obviously what happened last year should provide that versus coming as close as they did 2 seasons ago. So I think um, what you can count on rebounding most likely will be the top offensive rebounder in the ACC. Double doubles, very effective around the rim. I think if he can get some easier baskets, we saw a few games where they're running the floor and passes were going ahead. Once again, going back to Cadeau, I think that's a situation where maybe it's 2 on average per game, if not more, just easier baskets that he's getting. I think we've seen improvements, especially from the sophomore to junior year, on him catching the ball on the block and being very efficient with a dribble and a quick move. I think I know we've seen the videos of the 3-point shooting in workouts, and I know we've been hearing about that now for going into 3 seasons. But even going back to his sophomore year, where he was hitting a free throw line extended jump shot down to about 15 feet, if he's able to hit a few of those, I think that does open up the floor a lot just for him in terms of being able to attack, spin left, or just attack going left-handed. So I am curious to see if that can be something he's added to his game, which I would definitely like to see as he wanted to come back. So you want to see what he can add. But yeah, I think from a double-double perspective, and then my biggest question, the few games that he does see length thrown at him, how does he
Mhm.
handle that? Because last year, whether it was Duke, Florida State, there were some struggles where you put a taller, longer defender around on him, and he kind of he mentally he wasn't there, and whether that was picking up a cheap foul, teams picking up an offensive foul when he does put his chest or his shoulder into your chest. So I think always being mentally focused, where that maybe got a little bit away towards the end of last season, and then finally health. You can't control that, but hopefully he's worked on his body and feels good coming into the season.